Welcome to At the Table with Tony. My name is Anthony Scillia, better known as Tony Mangia, and this is our live stream show. And I'm welcoming a previous guest that was on my podcast. Now, this is a video. He's a video guest today. He is the one and only Paulie Gee. So, Paulie, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you fulfilled my request and let me on the show. But you didn't ask me; I asked you.
Well, but the thing is, this is a different. We did a show a couple of months ago. It was more of a podcast. This is podcast / live stream / we're going to do some interaction. So if people have comments or questions, they can post it on directly to Facebook or YouTube, and we could get to their questions and comments. I could also put up some photos. So I have a photo of you over here sitting down with your pizza. So we're gonna have a good time. If it's an hour, it's an hour. If it's 2 hours, we're going for 2 hours. We're gonna have a good time talking tonight.
That sounds good.
So again, thank you for taking some time out to come on the show. And we are in the middle of this. I guess we'll get right to the heavy stuff. We're in the middle of this pandemic. We're going in about 2 months now. Here, especially in America. But this has been like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. And obviously, you own two great restaurants in the city in Brooklyn. You own Paulie Gee's Pizza, and you own Paulie Gee's Slice Shop right in Greenpoint. You really were the innovator. You really were the guy that really built up Greenpoint to what it is today. But kind of talk about what is it like to have a restaurant in the time of Corona?
Well, I feel like my heart has been ripped out. As days go on, I feel worse and worse because, I open up my restaurant. I got to stop looking at myself when I do this. What I created was a wonderful life for myself. Is it a business? Yeah, it's a business. It pays my bills. But the reason, it makes me so happy is because I'm actually doing what I love to do anyway. And now, it's just been taken away from me. And I don't know when it's coming back. It's my head is kind of not in a good place over this right now. I was okay for a while, but as time goes on and, they talk about what's it going to be like and what you got to do. It's very upsetting. We have the Slice Shop. Thank God that we were already set up to do takeout and delivery. And there's that guy. You don't have the one with the mask on, huh?
No, I don't have the one with the mask on.
I could have given you that. I got one with a mask. So, but the Slice Shop, fortunately, I have people who are willing to work, and we're very careful there. We've been able to serve the community, and we've been keeping our head above water because of that. It's not paying all the bills, but it's paying some, and that part's been good. But the other part, it's just like my life is totally different now. I'm just like I told my son last night. I'm just a guy in a condo. I used to be Paulie Gee, now I'm just a guy in a condo. And
that's the thing. It's like you said, it literally has turned restaurateurs and chefs and not that's only to talk about one industry. That's not to talk about all the other industries out there, but really just one industry.
There's no industry worse than an industry. I hate calling it an industry too. Where the thing is where people gather socially. I mean, we're really the only more than anybody. We're taking the hit. My landlord doesn't take the hit. He thinks he can still collect all his friggin' rent. Okay. Yeah. The bank thinks that they can collect their mortgage. Why do they get not to suffer? And we have to. It's really us more than anybody. Restaurants, places where they have sporting events, bars. Imagine a place where they make their money by having people come in and dance, hip to hip.
Phil Casichelli, he had Daddy-O's in the Village in New York City for like over 20 years. He had to shut it down. I mean, how is a bar of all places? Maybe a restaurant can come back, a little bit easier. I'm using that very lightly. But a bar is a place where people congregate. You're sitting right next to, you got somebody on either side of you.
But the landlord still expects to get his rent.
Yes, they do.
The bank expects to get their mortgage paid. And and really we're the ones that are suffering here. So
yeah,
she's going to be back in a few. It's a good thing. Mrs. G said she's going to be.
How is Mrs. G doing in this time?
Great. Come here. Look at her. Look at the scarf. You think it's like January? Take a look at it. Look. Get on the picture there.
Hi, Mrs. G.
What the heck is going on here?
Going out for my evening stroll.
It's like Groundhog Day. Every day is 50 and windy. 50 and windy. It could be rainy and 50 and windy. It could be sunny. It's 50 and windy. That's it. Every day, same thing.
You know what's funny? We were talking with my cousins over the weekend, and they said the same. It literally is Groundhog Day. You wake up, you just do the same thing over and over.
What day is it? What day is it? You know.
Exactly. Wait, what day is it? To be honest with you, it doesn't even feel like, what is it, May 12th? It doesn't even feel like May 12th.
It's Tuesday. That's
Tuesday.
I got that nailed down.
So let's talk a little bit about Paulie Gee. Who is Paulie Gee? I know you're a Brooklyn boy. I know we talked a little bit about, we touched on this stuff, in the last podcast, but that was 2-3 months ago. That was like a lifetime ago.
I'm going to tell Paulie Gee's story a little differently right now.
All right.
The timing of this podcast is, I don't want to say fortuitous. It's not fortuitous at all. But, it's so funny. I'm wearing this hat. It's PS 179 Brooklyn. That was my first school that I went to. I went to that school. I grew up in Kensington. I grew up living in a little apartment building, 4-story apartment building. And my very first friend, his name was Kevin Riley. Okay. And Kevin's family, there was something about Irish Catholics. I think it had something to do with not eating meat on Fridays. I think I told the story on the podcast.
Yeah. I remember this.
Well, my love for pizza came. His father would come home on Friday nights from Scarola's, which was an Italian restaurant that made really good pizza right on Church Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Where we lived. And I always asked my parents if I could have pizza, and I don't know why. No, we're not going to do that. Maybe they didn't believe in spending money on restaurant food or whatever it was. But because I was being denied, I think that really helped create a love for pizza. So I'm wearing this hat because sadly, just before we got on the air, I had my friend Kevin. We were friends for a while. We lost touch with each other for the longest time, and we reunited through Facebook and a mutual friend on there just a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And we've been, communicating ever since. And he sent me this hat.
Really?
179. That's one of the places I first reconnected with him in the schoolyard, PS 179 schoolyard. We hung out there together for a while before he went off. He wound up going off he was in the Army. He moved to Iowa. And recently, actually, we went on a trip. I went with my two sons. My son was moving out to Denver, and we drove out together, and we helped him move. My son Derek, a Del boy, mm-hmm. And I got to actually see him after all of this time with his wife. And so he sent me this hat, and it has pizza on the side here, and it was very nice. And I'm wearing this hat, okay, because I just learned before we got on the air that he's left us. I just and
I'm so sorry.
I tribute to him, but he really was. It's so he really is. His family and his father bringing home that pizza really was like the genesis of my love for pizza. I love that smell. Pizza in a cardboard box. I absolutely love. Now the really strange thing about all of this, right? Mm-hmm. You've been promoting us. I want you to show the picture. I wear this hat maybe once a month, once every 2 months. I have a lot of hats. Look at the picture that you had up there promoting this live podcast. What hat am I wearing?
The same exact one.
The same hat.
The same exact one.
Oh, that something's going on.
Yeah, you're right. I just to be honest with you, I picked it. It was a good looking picture. It fit good. On the screen. So but it is weird the way I always say God works God works for me. It's God works in mysterious ways. And it's a shame that to hear that I'm sorry that your friend passed away, but it's a way to.
I feel his love right now, and that maybe that's a sign. I don't know, but it shocked me. When I looked and I realized what hat I was wearing in that picture, I banged the table. My wife said, "What's the matter?" But in any case, that's my love for pizza started there in Kensington, right around Church McDonald. There was a little pizzeria. They talk about the pizza cognition theory, and
yes,
that's where I got my love for pizza.
You taught me all about the pizza cognition theory. Now I reference that constantly, but it makes sense. You know what, Paulie? It makes sense. That's the crazy thing. I mean, not that it's crazy, but it totally makes sense. I mean, that's you know, I've been thinking about, you know, since this whole this quarantine and, you know, not being able to go, you know, to all these other places, I've been thinking a lot that, you know, I've been going back to my neighborhood pizzeria, you know, so I've been going to the one that I've been going to since I was a little kid. So it really is.
Where was that?
Lodi Pizza.
Lodi Pizza.
Lodi Pizza.
Near my friend's Martino's Deli.
Here. Is this Kensington?
That, you see where it says image? You see that?
Yeah.
Image was Scarola's.
No.
I'm almost positive. Either that or it says pizza.
Yeah, I can't. It's a little hard to read with the pizza one.
Yes, because right next to that where it says David Furniture,
yeah,
staircase leads above the lobby for what used to be the Beverly Theater. Okay?
Really?
And that's where it was. And up there, that staircase led to a place called the Ace Pool Room, which I wasn't allowed to go in because I wasn't 16 yet. They wouldn't let me in. But you know, I wound up getting in there sometimes. But so that's what that staircase is. They must have a furniture store upstairs. It eventually became like Verizon or something like that. But that was the Beverly Theater where we went to the movies all the time, right there.
That was the local, that was the neighborhood theater?
Yes, absolutely. 35 cents when I was a kid. 35 cents, 50 cents for adults, 35 cents. There it is. There it is right there. That's got pictures everywhere. Now you can't see it. Okay. So that was some kind of grocery store, small grocery store right next to it in that picture. But just beyond that is Scarola's. And it was it had a black glass facade with the letter Scarola's on there. And that was my, you know, I always tell people, right, that I never worked in a restaurant in my life.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't true. And I eventually started telling this story. And that when I was about 15, I needed, you know, a job to pay for the drugs I wanted to take, right, or whatever. And I found Scarola's. I moved away from Church McDonald. I moved about 10 blocks away. Church Avenue, Westminster Road. And one block up, Scarola's had a takeout only place right on Church Avenue.
Really?
And I got a job there, answering the phones and putting in the orders, right? I started there on a Friday night. I was gone by Monday, okay? By the end of the weekend, he said, don't come back, because I spent too much time talking to the customers when they called up. And that was Scarola's, too. That was Scarola's. So that was the only time I ever worked in a restaurant in my life. Except I also worked at the snack stand at the Park Circle Roller Rink. I used to make egg creams there. I made mean egg cream.
Did you really?
I did.
What's the secret to a Brooklyn egg cream?
Yeah, you got to mix it up real good. You got to get a lot of foam in there. That's the secret.
That's the secret. So it is. Is it about like what kind of I was Fox's You Bet?
Fox's You Bet. You got to go with Fox's You Bet. Absolutely.
I was trying to find a picture of Scarola's, but unfortunately, I guess when did it close, Paulie? A long time ago?
Oh, it closed maybe 15 years ago. I don't know. If I sent it to you, could you do something with it?
If you sent it to me, I could get it up right away.
Let me see if I can find it here.
There is one thing I want. I know that you mentioned last time, and you totally fascinated me about this thing that you used to do, I guess, as a kid or as a teenager. And I'll put it on the screen right now.
Buzzarama, there it is.
Now, can you explain what a slot car is?
Absolutely. It's a little car. They came in two sizes. The real size is 1/24th scale.
Mm-hmm.
1/24th, the regular size. They also made them in 1/32nd, but that was more for like home slot car stuff that you'd get and do at home. But you just found a Scarola's picture? I saw something pop up there.
Was that it? No, I don't think that was. I was actually trying to put something else up, but I screwed it up. But go ahead. So what is this slot car? So
it's a little car. They have these tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And on the track, there's two strips of metal, like braided metal, glued to the track. It's a little slot in the track, and there it is, 8 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see on each of those tracks there, you can see a little silver stuff. That is metal, and there's little brushes on there. There's buzzing. There it is. So there's little brushes that hang down and touch that metal, and that's how it gets the electric power to go around the track. And that's buzzing. And he opened I thought he opened in 66, but he said 65. And I was going there since they opened. I remember going there. You build the cars yourself. You can buy them, and they'd have races. I wasn't very good at it, but I came in 4th place once.
Really?
Yeah, I came in 4th place.
But they still do. I was looking it up a little bit. I was doing a little bit of research on it, and he's still open. He's still there. He still does birthday parties.
I think it's by appointment only these days. It's a little different, but yeah, he's been going up. He never closed. See that?
Mm-hmm.
The little controller. That's
yeah.
That's a 132nd, I think, maybe even smaller. Yeah, that's a really
wow. Look at those things.
They didn't have that when we were there. Our track was like for 1/24th scale, and you put it together yourself. They had kids to put it together. Some guys they got like a scratch built. They call it. They got little copper tubes and they soldered it together and they built the whole thing. Sometimes you could buy a kit and mount the engine in there. Oh, it was great. It was.
But wait a second. So you're saying that you would actually build these cars?
Yeah, you buy that. You buy a kit to build it with, or some people. I never did. You take tubing and you make the chassis with it, and you build the cars, the whole thing, and you race them. See, this thing he was showing was a really small one, but you buy the time for an hour, you go on there and you race your car, and sometimes they have races, and it was great. It was great.
My wife said that Scarola's is now a T-Mobile.
Scarola's in the T-Mobile?
Yeah,
all right.
Now.
I went to go look for the pictures. I got a folder, Brooklyn of old, but there's just so much stuff in this folder. It's just like way too much.
Yeah, I was trying to find like a picture of it, but
I'm gonna keep looking as we talk here.
But that was kind of your first introduction, because you grew up in an Italian and a Jewish family, right? So your mom was Jewish, your dad was Italian, correct?
Correct, Sicilian. My father was Sicilian.
So actually, I'm gonna put on his screen a picture of your dad throughout.
There he is. There he is.
So but now I remember you telling a little bit of the story about, now it was how your father's parents met. That was in Tampa.
Yes. At first, I thought they were both from Palermo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that they were married or met and traveled together to Tampa. And most people, most Sicilians, they would go to New York, but some went to Tampa. I think that they went to the towns that was similar to where they were from, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And Tampa was a lot like Palermo. My grandmother was from Agrigento. That was more like, Greece.
Yeah.
But, apparently, I didn't know she was from Agrigento. I found that out through Ancestry.com eventually. And I realized that they, in fact, went there. They must have met there. They worked in a cigar factory. That I know. And they either met together in a cigar factory or they met in the Italian neighborhood there.
Huh.
And then they moved to New York. And, I recently found their wedding certificate. And they were married on September 10th, 1905.
Really?
Yeah, and then my birthday is September 11th. My wife's birthday is September 9th.
So September is a big month.
Yeah, because it is. A lot of people have babies in September. It's cold in January. And you know how that goes.
So here's a picture of you and your mom. You just posted. I know you posted this for Mother's Day, right?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah. So
did you see the other thing I posted? The story with me dancing with her. It was like you dance with your mother at the wedding. I posted that picture too, and I put music to it. I'll always love my mom. I put to it.
So your parents met then in Brooklyn.
They did.
You said Brooklyn. You said the Lower East Side. Where did you?
No, my father grew up on the Lower East Side, and he moved to Brooklyn. He moved to Kensington, 35th Street, 1420 35th Street. Okay, and my mother, she grew up in Bushwick, and mostly Bushwick actually. But they both loved to dance. Okay, and in, I guess 1949 or so, they went to a place at the very end of Ocean Parkway, right at the boardwalk. I found pictures of it. It was called Club 28. And that's how they met.
Wow.
That's how they met. Dancing.
No. Hey, I mean, I guess, but back then that was something that people did. They would go to these dances, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Is this, let me see if this is this, let me see if I can share this. Is that it? 1420. 35th Street.
That's right. The white one. The white one is where my grandparents lived. Downstairs, my aunt and uncle lived. My Uncle Johnny and Aunt Jean, my father's brother. Upstairs, my grandparents lived with my Aunt Marie, my father's sister, and her husband, Uncle Joe. And my grandparents lived there. And right next door was 1422 is where the Matchett's lived. Kenny and somebody Matchett, I forget.
But you didn't grow up in that house, right?
No, but I grew up on East 4th Street where I met Kevin. Right, he was my first friend. And then when I was 6 years old, we moved to 35th Street. We moved to a railroad apartment. You know, I don't know if anybody knows what a railroad apartment is. It's all the rooms run together. You got to walk to one room to get to the other, like a train, right? Down the block a little bit. And I lived there until about 1971 when we moved a few blocks away to Westminster Road.
So you pretty much grew up in that neighborhood of Brooklyn, correct?
Absolutely, I did. We hung around there. We used to hang around Church of McDonald, and then a little older, we hung around in 179 Schoolyard, and eventually we started hanging around on Ocean Parkway and Prospect Park when we became hippies. I was a hippie back then. So
I should have I should have found the picture of you with the cigarette. Was that your hippie days or no?
Oh, no, that was after my hippie days. I cut my hair. I started going out to clubs, actually, going dancing. The pre-disco days, that was. So
the pre-disco days.
Pre-disco. Before it was disco, it was just like R&B, and it became disco eventually. It got ruined. But we used to go out in Bay Ridge a lot. We go out in the city on the weekend. Friday and Saturday, you'd go out to clubs in the city. This started around 1972. And then we'd go to Bay Ridge on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. There was a place on 4th Avenue and 91st Street first it was called Dr. Feel Funnies. I got the matches right over there.
I did see that picture.
Yeah, and then there's Scarolas. And then they called it Productions. Can I send you this picture, Tony?
Yes, send it to me now.
How would you like to receive it?
Can you do it through Facebook Messenger?
No.
Okay, then text it to me.
All right.
Or email it. Email it would be easier. I could get it faster. I can get it faster on the internet. Unfortunately, I'm not running Apple on as my laptop, so I have to it's a pain in the butt. I'm using an HP, which is the stupidest thing I ever did. But
what are you gonna do?
That's neither here. That's for another episode.
There you go.
But
now, the picture was probably taken in the late 50s.
I'm
looking to see what movie was playing here. Bridges of Toko-Ri. Whenever Bridges of Toko-Ri was out, which was a great movie.
I never heard of it.
I think that movie was with William Holden and Mickey Rooney, maybe? Bridges of Toko-Ri, I think.
I never even heard of that movie.
There you go. Now, if you look at this picture I just sent you, right under the marquee, under the right corner of the marquee, you'll see billiards.
Okay, I'm going to put it up in 2 seconds.
All right, and then you're going to see Scarolas a couple of doors down.
Let's see. Let me see. I'm working on the fly. 1 second. So let's go to upload. We'll upload the picture. If I can find it now. Here we go. Is this it? I think this was the picture you sent. If not, it might be the other one. Is this the one? Let me see.
Put it up. Yep, that's it.
That's it.
Now you see Scarolas, the black facade with the letters.
Yes.
That was Scarolas. That's where Kevin Riley's father would pick up pizza on Friday night.
But was that the first pizza you actually ate?
No, the first pizza I ate was around the corner that I remember. Around the corner on McDonald Avenue was a little place. It was called Sal's. I didn't realize it at the time. There was a Leaning Tower of Pisa there. And it actually, I don't know, I think it even said Leaning Tower Pizza, right? Well, I always thought that was the name of the place. But I actually reconnected with the daughter, I think it was, of the owner of that place. I reconnected through Flickr. Yeah, I forget how I did that. And she reminded me the name of the place was Sal's. But that slice, it was just a regular New York slice. And to this day, I love that slice. And there was another place where I'd go. They used to let us out at lunchtime for school. I went to PS 230 after we moved. And there was a place right next to Buzzarama. It was on the corner called Triple Nickel.
Triple Nickel.
That's when pizza was 15 cents. They should have, I guess they didn't know that the prices were going to go up. They had to change their name when the price of pizza went up. They did.
Now, I remember you also saying something about, what was it? the price of a slice of pizza was the same price as a Subway token?
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. You ask anybody, go back over the years. My only question is, who followed who? Did the MTA follow the slice price, or did the pizzerias follow the MTA? It only diverged recently when we got fancy with our pizza prices.
Okay, so we're doing a lot of pizza talk. So let's talk a little bit about Paulie Gee's Pizza. So I know that you've had this love affair with pizza since you're a kid, and so but you came to owning a restaurant a little bit later in life. So it wasn't your first job out of school. So kind of how did you come to found Paulie Gee? I know the story, but for those out there that have no idea, was it just something that you said one day? Okay, I'm done with working such and such a job, and I am going to be I'm going to own a restaurant and be a pizza maker.
No, it was a long, evolving process. It started out by me choosing a career that I really wasn't suited for. I was in corporate IT. I wasn't a geek. I wasn't a corporate animal.
I wasn't a geek.
I wasn't. I'm still not, right? But so I wasn't getting where I wanted in life. Long story short on that. And but I always loved to cook. It was like I was like a kid in a candy shop when I finally we got married. I said, I can cook whatever I want every night now because my mother would cook whatever she made, you eat, right? Mm-hmm. But my father was home a lot. He kind of retired before my mother. And since my mother was working during the day, my father would cook sometimes. So that kind of green lighted me. Typically Italian Americans, I don't cook, I barbecue. When I come home, I want my dinner on the table, right? My father couldn't say that, and and he would cook. So it put in my mind that it was okay to cook. I didn't realize that at least at that time, the greatest chefs in the world were men. I didn't know any of that, right? It's not like that anymore. Please, let's not get whatever.
Yeah, politically incorrect.
We don't want to get into that. So I began to love to cook for myself. They'd go away sometimes for months at a time. They'd go to Florida, and I was home, and I could cook for myself, and I'd get Silver Star ravioli, and I'd make it with meat sauce. My mother was, even though she was a Jew, she was a great Italian cook. She learned how to cook from my aunt and my grandmother, and she kind of outdid them. Really, she was good. But she made meat sauce that I love with cheese ravioli. Used to get them at Silver Star. You can get them fresh, frozen, but you get them fresh. The large ones were in a blue box, white and blue, and the small ones were in a red box, white and red. And I love to cook that. So, I began to have this love affair with cooking. When we got married, I cook all the time. And I'd start looking for reasons to cook for people. I really enjoyed it. And this was over and over, years and years. Whenever we had a party, rather than us going out and spending money to go to a restaurant, a lot of times I would just do the cooking, right? Mm-hmm. And people would tell me, they saw how much I loved it, right? And they say, you should open up a restaurant. They knew I wasn't really happy in the corporate world. I wasn't really interested in that. I wanted to do something, though. I learned that you have to be in business for yourself. I did learn that. I learned that in multi-level marketing, and I started thinking about how I could do that. And I was going to open up a breakfast and lunch. That's a newer box right there. That's a newer box. I bet you couldn't find it. The old one. But are they still around?
Yeah, it actually looks like it, Paulie. I was just it says Vincent Silver Star of Brooklyn. I see here.
Yeah, they must have sold their name to somebody. So, but yeah, they used to have the factory on McDonald Avenue and Avenue I, and they had a shop in my wife's neighborhood on 15th Avenue and I'd say 70th Street, something like that, right near the New Utrecht Avenue L. Seems like they like to be near the L, right? So in any case, I really had this love for cooking, and I wanted to do something else. I didn't know what. And eventually, a friend of mine came to me with a proposal to open up my own La Peep. It was a franchise. He said, I'll build it for you. You do everything. You just pay me 5% of the gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that idea. I started chasing that with him. Thank God it didn't come to fruition. We never found a space in Jersey that we liked.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, I started thinking, I'd rather make pizza than this. And I thought that he'd buy into that whole thing and do the same kind of thing, same kind of deal. But little did I know, I really disappointed him in that regard. I feel bad, but I didn't know it at the time. But he still, when I decided to make pizza, I decided I was going to build an oven at home to practice on. And I did that, and he helped me do that, right? And I built the oven in 2007. It took me a few months, thanks to the challenge that my son threw down at me. He told me he was coming home for Thanksgiving, and he wanted to make sure that I was feeding him and his friend pizza out of that oven. He was very excited about that I was doing that I was chasing my dream, because I taught him to chase his dreams. And that's one of the reasons I did it, because I had to show my kids, I can't tell them, go chase your dreams. And I'm not doing that. I'm sitting at home or whatever. So, and that really spurred me on. And that was the result in that oven there. I met the challenge 2 days before Thanksgiving, 2007. I served pizza out of that oven. So it didn't look like that at the time. There was still work to do on it, but he didn't hold that against me there. I want to move the lamp over here. I want to try to get some more light.
Better light. You got to get some better light.
I got to get some more light on this beautiful face of mine. There we go. Is that a little better?
It's actually a little darker now. You're a little darker now.
Oh, what are you going to do?
That's all right.
No good, huh? Let's see.
No, bring it like, yeah, there you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Stay. Stop. But so the oven. Talk to me a little bit about this oven, the one I just showed on the screen. So how did that come to be? I mean, how did you? I know you said you had some help from a friend, but so was it you and your buddy that was building this, or how did this oven come to be?
Well, what happened was, I had gone to a place in Nutley, New Jersey. It used to be called Regina Margarita.
Still there.
There was a cease and desist order. They had to change it to Queen Margarita.
Okay.
And the guy there, they were like, it was like the big night. The two brothers, well, one brother in the kitchen cooking, didn't want to talk to anybody. And the other brother was very gregarious. And he and his wife ran the front of the place, right? And they had actually built a wood-fired oven in the restaurant, And he kind of, I kind of got thinking about that. Oh, maybe I could do that. Did you superstar again? We're not talking ravioli now. We're talking.
I know. I hit the wrong button.
So, and I got to thinking about that. And then I started going to numero 28 on Carmine Street. And at the time, there were two brothers that were running the place, Salvatore and Luigi Olivella. Oh, there's Queen Margarita. Very good. And with the pastry store, that wasn't there at the time.
No.
And they had a wood-fired oven there. And, I became a real pizza enthusiast in the 90s. But mostly from going to Tono's. I went to Tono's and I learned about their coal oven pizza. And I kind of fell in love with it. We started going on pizza tours and this and that. And but at that time, I really got enamored with what he was doing at numero 28. I got to thinking about building an oven. I asked him, this guy Salvatore, he's all over the pizza business these days. Yeah, I'm sure you might have run into him. You didn't even know it, right? But, he talked about building an oven for me. And he was talking about prices, blah, blah, blah. And then, and I saw that I could buy one for a few $1,000s on, I guess, fornobravo.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that they had free Pompeii oven plans. I thought about my friend with a passion for masonry. Here's my Mike's Out honey cup to match my shirt. The hat and the shirt always got to match, but tonight I had to change the hat. So I found this. There it is. I found these free Pompeii oven plans, and I looked at it, and they didn't look too challenging. I said, I'm going to do this, and I got my friend to help me, and I started building the oven. It was finished Thanksgiving, and I started doing pizza tastings. I would practice. At first, I was buying the dough at Stop and Shop in a little plastic bag. And eventually I started making my own dough. Matter of fact, keep an eye out on Pizza Quest for Peter Reinhardt's talk with me. Peter Reinhardt authored a book called American Pie. He had the Bread Baker's Apprentice. He's a big deal in bread baking, right?
Yeah.
But he had this book, American Pie, that was really, it was kind of a story of his love for pizza, too.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pizza enthusiast. And he put pizza dough recipes in there. And one of them was the Neapolitan recipe. And eventually I started using that and practicing and, experimenting with that pizza recipe to develop my pizza dough. I made my pizza in a Pillsbury bread machine. And if you want to see that Pillsbury bread machine, when this whole thing is over, come into Paulie Gee's at 60 Greenpoint Avenue, and it'll be sitting there. Okay, still there.
So that's the homage to what one of the things to help you to start.
Absolutely, that made it easy. That little, it was a cool machine. It really was. So what happened was, I started having these tastings to practice, and I'd invite people over. I'd find like 8 people. We cut the pies in 8 little slices. And, I plan these things every couple of weeks. I got excited about them. I plan them out. I buy the ingredients up. And I was working in Parsippany at the time. There was a great deli, Sergio's, in Denville, that had great stuff. He would give me the curd. He'd sell me the curd. And I'd make fresh stuff from the curd. And I'd have these tastings. And people would come, and mostly friends and family. But eventually, I had a lot of pizza enthusiast friends, too. I wrote on blogs. I commented on mostly Slice. If anybody knows about Slice,
yes.
That was created by Adam Kuban, and then was taken over by Serious Eats.
But didn't they go away for a while? I think they're back now, right?
No, they're not back.
They're not back. I thought I saw some stuff.
No, what you saw was a pizza delivery service called Slice.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. But I wish they would come back. I wish somebody, you'd be good at that.
Yeah.
You gotta find somebody to do it. Sitting there, Serious Eats has the rights to it there. They need somebody to run it,
Run it.
Adam, it was a natural for him. He created it. It was his labor of love. He also did a hamburger today.
Yes.
He was working, I think at the time he was working for Martha Stewart. He's a geek, okay? And he was working as a geek for Martha Stewart. And he didn't have a lot of money, so he'd go to, he'd eat a lot of pizza and burgers, and he started writing about it. And that's how that all came about. So in any case, I had all of these pizza enthusiast friends, and I wanted them to come and have my pizza. I wanted them to like it. I worked it out, so eventually I got Adam to come. It was a big deal. And he wrote a very nice piece. If you Google on Serious Eats, Pizza Madman, Paulie Gee, you'll see a really nice chronicling of it. You'll even see a picture of the bread machine. So there you go. And Scott Wiener came to that pizza tasting.
Really?
Yeah, it was the day before my son Michael's birthday, which was also Easter Sunday, which happens 11 years. Every 11 years, I just figured out because it happened again this year.
Here you go.
So there
you
it
see
is.
it?
Look at that. That was quick. You see the bread machine on the right?
Oh, there in the background.
Yeah, on the little
yes.
left-hand square in the back. There it is. And there's my Starbucks apron. There's the mutz. That was the original mutz right there. See that?
Yeah, that's it.
That was the original mutz, yeah. So. And that was
there you go.
it. And there's my son Michael. I flew him home from the Air Force Academy for his birthday and to man the oven, because when I made pizza, I'd make it inside, the oven was outside, and I always had to assure, you see, there I am making the pizza inside, that the oven was hot, and he was great at it. He wanted to be the best, fire master I ever had. And so I usually tell a story that, the best, for some reason, the people who worked that oven the best were Yankee fans.
Really?
Yeah, the Met fans came up short on more than one occasion. So I don't think it's a coincidence.
So that was the start of the Paulie Gee pizzeria. Was in your backyard.
I did that to open up a pizzeria. Okay, not to be a hobbyist, right? Mm-hmm. And I started looking for places to do it in Jersey, and I started looking for money, and I didn't find any place in Jersey. I actually, for a while, I was looking with Dan Ricker of Raza in Jersey.
Yes.
Too. He was going to be the chef. I was going to be the pizza maker, but I decided I don't want any partners. I need to be on my own. Two things: greatest discovery. I knew about the partner thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many people who had partners in businesses say having a partner is like having a wife, another wife, and I knew what they were getting at. Okay, I never knew. I never knew how much I was made to be the boss and not have a boss. I thrive being the boss, and working for somebody else, doing something for somebody else wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me a long time to find that out. And, I encourage other people to own their own business as well. Get out there and do it. So, but eventually, I found a way to get to Brooklyn. I thought I was going to open in Jersey, but I figured it out. Thanks to my friend Jimmy. He advised me that, you can take, I didn't know, you can take a salary enough to cover your bills if you're going to have investors. And I do have some friends and family invested. Turns out him and his family invested. Now I know why he suggested that to me. I came to Brooklyn and I found Greenpoint.
And really, you were one of the. I mean, I guess there were a couple of other places in Greenpoint, but because really, Greenpoint is traditionally a Polish community, correct? That was
Polish
a Polish
and Hispanic.
Okay, so I mean, how did you settle then on Greenpoint?
Well, what happened was I was infatuated with Williamsburg. I wanted to open up in Williamsburg. Excuse me, I got to have a little more of my. I got to turn this around so when I drink it, you see it's.
You gotta do the promotion.
Yeah, I don't want that, so
and then we put it on the screen.
There it is. So I just love Williamsburg. I love the buzz there. I just loved everything that was going on. I wanted to be part of that, right? But one of the people I went around and I talked with a number of pizza makers, and they were all very gracious to me. They were generous with their knowledge and their encouragement. And there were, a couple of these guys I talked to were actually in Williamsburg, and it wouldn't have been right for me to do that. Another place that I truly loved, idolized, was Roberta's in Bushwick.
Yes.
So I saw how Roberta's found some place where the rents were cheaper, like the next step after Williamsburg, and they opened up in Bushwick. So I thought about that and said, well, I can't open up in Bushwick. They got that covered, right?
Yeah.
But I said, well, let me see if I can find another neighborhood. And lo and behold, I found Greenpoint. And the neighborhood I'm in, I found that weekend when my son came home for Easter and his birthday and the pizza tasting. Okay?
Because I know that you said that it was actually, what was it, Good Friday? Because there was I
came down and I went to look at some spaces right off of Franklin Street. And the first thing I see after I park my car is Jesus walking up Franklin Street getting whipped. Okay?
Oh, jeez.
I kid you not.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It was 3:00 and they were having a procession,
Yeah.
And so that's how I discovered that. And I said, I saw what was going to happen there. I said, this neighborhood is going to be hot. And there was nothing there but a couple of bars, a few bars actually. And there was no food. And there was no pizzeria. And at least not what I wanted to do. And I said, I got to do this. That was like, in April. And I started looking around, and it took a while to find the right thing, but eventually I found a space. And it was scary, but I finally got some investors, just a couple, because still people, they didn't believe I was going to do this, and I don't blame them. All along, I have all these people who I talk to, and they want to know, if I had any skin in the game, and I didn't. And I just couldn't attract any investors. But these people, there's one guy I worked with, and my boss's husband, they were interested. So I decided that's it. I had no money to do this, none, absolutely none. But I was determined to do it. I figured I'm going to figure it out somehow. And I just kept on looking back. And all the people kept on asking me if I had skin in the game. And I said no, and nothing ever became of it. I realized, I got to have some skin in the game here. And I went, I talked with my wife. I said, I want to take out a home equity loan, and I got to seed this business. And that's what we did. So without her blessing, who knows what would have happened. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you need, it's good to have, a backing from your wife. I mean, that's the person that, in a way they're kind of the boss. Our significant others.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Now you're going too far. Okay.
Now I'm going too far.
Now you're going too far. You ask my wife who the boss is.
There's Paulie Gee, 660 Greenpoint Avenue.
And that building to the right doesn't look like that anymore. It's a luxury apartment building.
So but really, like I said, you really were you were like the innovator of Greenpoint. I mean, you were one of the anchors of the community.
Yeah, people tell me that. I look around. They welcome me with open arms. They really embraced me. They looked around. They saw. Greenpoint is like somebody told me where people in Williamsburg go when they grow up, right? So, but there was also, I think there was some Williamsburg envy. And the fact that all of a sudden we open up this pizzeria, this, kind of like, Roberta's in a way that it was wood fired and the same kind of pies and stuff. People embraced us and they really supported us, We
have a comment for you, Paulie.
Oh, do I get to see those comments live? Yeah. I got to click on live comments, right?
Yeah. Can you see it?
I am not the boss. There we go.
Oh, this is But so you are besides your love for pizza, you are also you love. I know I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on Facebook. So I know that you appreciate good food.
Love good food.
I mean, you travel for food.
I do travel for food.
So I want to talk a little bit about your love for food and your travels around. Like I said, I follow you. I know that actually I'm gonna put a picture up because I think this picture that I saw. I think this was like 2 weeks ago. You posted this. I love this picture. I think it's because you know what? You're still practicing the face covering, but you went to one of my favorite restaurants I have yet to get to during this period. You went to the one and only Belmont Tavern on the border of Belleville, Bloomfield, and Newark, New Jersey. And really, the place is amazing.
Oh, that food is so. If you haven't been to Belmont Tavern, you got to go. Don't go on Tuesday because they're closed. Well, right now they just started doing takeout and delivery again. I didn't know they were doing it all. As soon as I went back, I went there the first day, last Wednesday. 2 months ago. I said our son was very upset we did that. Yeah, he was. Okay. And we also on the same day we went to Sapori Ravioli in Middlesex and got my favorite ravioli anyway, some cheese ravioli that I took home and cooked with meat sauce, just like my mother used to make and just like I made when she wasn't around. And then we turned it into a baked ravioli. Put it in little tins. I'm going to have that tomorrow. It's in the freezer.
That sounds good.
But I do try Belmont Tavern. When we were living in Jersey, I only discovered it about 20 years ago. 20 years? Yeah, a little more. Not too much more. It's just a great place. And I had to go get that. I just, we need to get out. We're safe in our car for sure.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't want to pump gas. I don't want to touch the gas handle. So whenever we need gas, we go to Jersey. Man, the only one commenting here.
Hey, at least we have so according to my statistics, I see we have 14 viewers right at this present time. So
14.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
Tell Sapori Ravioli to get on here and watch it.
But what is so special about Sapori Ravioli? I know that you were talking a little bit about Star Ravioli in Silver Star, excuse me. But so what? How did you? Well, first of all, how did you find Sapori?
Well, I lived out there in Warren Township, just down the hill. Somehow, I don't know. I don't recall now. I think maybe when I was working in Piscataway and somebody told me it was over there. And it was a ravioli place. He used to own Pastos's in Brooklyn. He told me it was the one on 75th Street.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm confused about the whole financial deal with it and everything. But I got a picture of him in Pastosa. Hey, Adam Greenwald is on there. Hey, good to see you. That's my son Michael's friend Adam. Great guy. He was from Watchung. They went to high school together. So.
Okay.
He's a Jew who loves pizza. So, actually, he went on one of our trips to numero 28 when we were pizza touring.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. So Sapori, somehow I found it. He makes great fresh ravioli. He makes other stuff that's great. That's where I got my sausage for the wood-fired place for the whole time I was open. I'd go there with a cooler twice a week and get the sausage.
What makes the sausage? What is it about that sausage? What did you fall in love with?
He seasons it just the right way. It's nothing special. No fancy secret stuff, but it's the amount that he puts in and the meat that he buys, and it's really good. So, but he's just a great guy. It's a great family business. I think it must have been. I don't know. His mother still works there. Every once in a while, you go in the kitchen. There's his mother, making something back there. Yeah.
Bruce Hansen said, "Hello, Paulie from Evergreen."
That's one of my very best friends. His brother. He lives out in Evergreen, Colorado. Oh, that's great. Oh, there's Dan Hart, my Buzz Skaggs friend. He lives in Arkansas. This is great. Wow.
Yeah, you see, once we said something, and people start commenting. So.
Yeah, that's good. So hey, if anybody else is on there, let me know. That's good.
So what are some of the other places, especially I guess in the area? I'm a Jersey boy, born and raised. What are some other places, I guess, in the tri-state area that you have to try? It doesn't have to be Italian. It could be. I know. You took me to a place down in Old Bridge, or was it Old Bridge? The Thai place?
Oh, the Thai place, Thai. That by far is my favorite Thai restaurant anywhere. Okay, I keep on going to all these other places, fancy places, this and that. Thai in Old Bridge, on Old Bridge Turnpike or something. It's a great place. You tell Tony that I sent you. All right. We've had all kinds of family gatherings there. It's just a great spot. I love it. Another place, Asian food, is my favorite Chinese restaurant anywhere. It's a little takeout place that has a few tables. It's called Mei Mei. So apparently, for a restaurant to be good, it has to have two names. Right?
Two names.
There's another place that I love that's gone now. Sadly, was Two Toms. So
yes.
Love. We went there the closing night. We were about
I never made it there, unfortunately, and now it's too late.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but Mei Mei is a great Chinese place in Somerset.
Where Summit?
Yeah, it's on Hamilton Street in Somerset. Not Summit. So you did this the last time too.
Did I?
Summit. Somerset. You got it? The town of Somerset. Bruce Hansen, thumbs up on the Thai. Really good. I didn't know he went there. Oh, yeah. Oh, Bill had Thai and said Bill Gorman's there. Thai on Sunday there. So.
But so what other I know there's actually I'm gonna post a picture. I know there's
I got more.
Oh, you got more? Okay. Well, I was gonna post a picture of this one. It's not in New Jersey. But
that's roast pork Italian at the Knicks. Everybody talks about cheesesteak. The real Philly sandwich is the roast pork Italian. Roasted, Italian roasted pork. Cooked in its juices. Sauteed broccoli rabo, spinach. I like it either way.
Have you been to John's? Have you been to John's on Snyder Avenue?
I have, over by IKEA.
Yes.
They have a great one. What they also have, I'm not a cheesesteak guy. Matter of fact, the only time I ever had a cheesesteak, a whole cheesesteak for myself, was at Jim's Steaks. You know Jim's Steaks on South Street?
Jim's, yes. Yeah, that's the
one.
one.
The only time I ever had a cheesesteak, and guess what I had?
What'd you have?
Come on.
A cheesesteak with whiz? I don't know. Whiz?
Pizza steak.
Pizza steak? What is that? Tomato sauce?
Yeah, they put tomato sauce and
so wait a second. You never been to Pat's or Gino's or Tony Lou's?
I've walked by. I don't like cheesesteaks. But everybody in Philly, they will tell you that the best cheesesteak is because the way they prepare it is at John's Roast Pork.
John's Roast Pork.
And I did have a couple of bites of my son's, and it is very good.
Yeah, but actually, when we went there, we were there, I guess, before all this craziness. I think it was last year. Me and my wife went down, and she had the cheesesteak. She said it was really good. But they don't do broccoli rabe there. They only do the spinach at John's.
Yeah, I like the spinach. I actually like the spinach very much at the Knicks because there's a brightness to it that makes the sandwich more appealing. But the thing that my friend Scar and Alexis Aguero, Alexis Aguero was a boxer. Great fight. Pryor and Aguero, that was a great fight. Whatever his name is, Alexis. He's a comedian. He's on there's a Schooligans, a soccer thing. They told me the sandwich to get there, and I tried, and they were absolutely. Oh, look, Del Boy is on. Del Boy on the line. Happy to see Paulie Gee in the flesh, and not out shopping, right, Del Boy? they said you got to try the meatball sandwich, and they were absolutely right.
Where at the Knicks?
Soft meatball, not a crusty outside, and that's what they make there. It's really good at the Knicks.
At the Knicks, really?
Yeah. You got to try. Got to get there early. It usually runs out.
Do you fry your meatballs or do you bake them? Or do you put them right in the sauce?
I drop them in the sauce. Drop them in the sauce. No baking, no frying. I like
that's interesting. My wife's family does that. I mean, growing up, we always fried them. I mean, you always had to take a couple of meatballs in the morning as they were getting fried.
Yeah, my mother used to fry them as well. But what my mother used to do, God forbid somebody does this now. She'd let me eat the uncooked meat. Put it in the egg and everything, the cheese in the egg, and the Del Boys should stay inside. Look at that.
The meatball carpaccio.
There you go. I absolutely love that. We always use 4C breadcrumbs for some reason.
Yes, why? Why is that?
I don't know, but I have to use 4C to some psychological.
You know what? You're absolutely, because I know sometimes, like, if we run out, if my mother-in-law has some and she has a different brand, it isn't the same.
No,
it's not the same. Yeah, 4C is like the best breadcrumb.
Yeah, it really is.
It's weird. It really is weird how these things, I guess, as kids or growing up, we always kind of had this stuff. I mean, it was.
I was safe shopping the other day, right? And the only things of 4C's available were way out of my reach, and I refused to take another brand. I went and I got somebody to come over and go up on the shelf. That was good. But in any case, I like to drop the meatballs in. I like a nice soft meatball, and that's what I do.
So do you think that's what they do at the Knicks?
Yes, absolutely. You can tell that it's not baked. Maybe it's baked, but I don't think so. I really don't. I think that's how they do it.
Because the fry would have have the crust on it. Yep. So what are some of the other places that we have to try once we get out of quarantine?
Jeez, oh man, now you're making me forget.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You gotta go for a burger, not just any burger. You gotta go for the Black Label burger at Minetta Tavern. Okay. Don't come back and tell me you got the Minetta burger. Okay. Get the Black Label burger. It only comes, no cheese on it. It only comes with delicious caramelized onions. Do not put those onions on. They're delicious. You eat them on the side. That burger needs nothing but
just a bun.
Just a bun. That's it. The good fries come with it too, and a delicious pickle. There's tarragon in the pickle.
Really?
Really good. Yeah, really good. So that's one other thing I like to do. God almighty, there's so many places. Well, White Manor, you know about White Manor, right? Okay.
Of course, White Manor.
But let's for pizza, I don't know. There's just so much. Oh, New Park Pizza. I love New Park Pizza. In Howard Beach.
Okay.
They're a little inconsistent, but forget cheese and onions. Don't listen to her. Okay? You don't put cheese and onions on a Black Label burger, right? Get the Minetta burger if you're going to do that. Save $15. And New Park Pizza is on Causeway Boulevard near the Belt Parkway. When they're on, best slice ever.
Really?
Yeah, when they're on, it's a great slice. So I'm trying to think of other places I like to go eat. There's all kinds of places. I love a good steak. Oh, there's great steak in. You got to get the porterhouse though. I made the mistake and I got the ribeye. It wasn't the same. In Williamsburg, the Stefano's.
Yes, you told me about that too.
Yeah, it's a great spot. I love Peter Luger's. I love Peter Luger's for the cream spinach and the potatoes. Okay, but this is a great porterhouse you get at the Stefano's. It's a great room too. And Joe, I think the owner's name is Joe. He's a really good guy. So you got to check that out. I don't know. There's a bunch of Staten Island, my favorite. You tell me. Oh, Julie is on. My son's girlfriend is on. How you doing, Julie? And you tell me I could have one pie in the whole city. I go to Joe and Pat's. I love Joe and Pat's. On Manor Road, Victory Boulevard, Manor Road, Staten Island, and it's just as good in the city on First Avenue.
I was there one time, and it was just before all this craziness happened. I was doing a podcast at Alfonso's Pastry Shop. Which, have you been there?
No, I gotta go.
Oh, you gotta go there. That's where they filmed the movie Easy Money. When he comes out with the wedding cake?
I
Remember
love
when he
eating
comes out
money. Oh yeah. Can I call you Dad?
yeah. Yeah, that pizza was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal
I
pizza.
love it. You have to eat it right away, though.
Yes,
You have
yes.
to eat it right away.
Actually, Ray from Italian Enclaves Historical Society, he says the Stefano's has the best homemade cheesecake.
And I see that. I got to try that. I'm definitely going to go back and try that. So,
What is this place? I'm a little late, but heard you mention New Park Pizza.
yeah, that's our friend Kathy. That's Bill's wife, our dear friend Kathy. There, so they
The
used
veg-
to. Her son, the family would go by there, and they love New Park Pizza. Who else? Roseanne is on. My friend Al and his wife Roseanne. They had the greatest ice cream business. It was called Taste the Tropics. It was in East Flatbush there on Utica Avenue. He catered to the Caribbean population. It's still out there. You can still find the name.
Really?
But you got to, if you could track that down somewhere, it's great stuff. So Al's a great guy too.
What about there's that other place I know that you've talked about a lot, and actually I think that you actually when Vice did that little feature on you, you went to a place in Carroll Gardens.
Vice did a thing on me.
What the Vice when you
Chef's Night Out. There we go.
Yeah, Chef's Night Out.
Right. Oh yeah. How can I forget Sam's? The best clams. There are no best. There's only favorites, but in this case, they're the best. Okay. If you ever get a chance, watch my Chef's Night Out. Check out those clams.
I've never been there.
You got to go, and Lou's there. Lou he's very entertaining. It's an old school place. It's wonderful. Their pizza is very, very good. Very, very good. And I like the lasagna too. They got a nice meat lasagna with slices of sausage in there.
Now, are you a chunky sauce? Are you a chunky sausage guy in your pizza? Or are you a slice sausage on your pizza?
Yes.
Chunky sausage, right?
No. Yes. I said yes.
Wait, it's chunky or sliced?
I like the chunky on like my Neapolitan style pizza. On a New York slice, I like it sliced.
You do like it sliced.
I like it sliced on a New York slice.
Now let's talk a little bit about, because besides Paulie Gee's pizza, which that was your first restaurant in Greenpoint, you also have Paulie Gee Slice Shop, which is kind of right around the block, pretty much from.
It is.
So that for you, that was a different concept, because like you said, Paulie Gee's, the original Paulie Gee's, no takeout. You're eating the pizza right out of the oven in the restaurant. No delivery, like you said, no takeout. But Paulie Gee's Slice Shop, really old. You're hearkening back to like you talked about earlier, the old school New York City slice joints.
I wanted to create a place that reminded me of the slice shops that I went to when I was young, like the one on Church Avenue. There for 50-something years now, Quarter Pizza. Okay. And I went and I found it was a real labor of love, finding all the stuff to put in there. I decided in the back I was going to have TVs, and I said it was going to be a sports bar, but in Greenpoint, I don't stand a chance. They just want to watch Bob Ross and Jeopardy and Twin Peaks, and forget it. They don't stand a chance, right? But I do have all Yankee stuff in there.
Yes, you do.
I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not going to try to say, I got to put stuff up for everybody to make sure everybody comes. You come, that's it. So funny, when we first opened, Drew Brown, who runs the place with me, big Met fan. I let him wear a Met hat. I had a bartender who would wear a Red Sox hat. I had to put a stop to that.
Really?
But I got these orange booths in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see on the screen there, you see the orange tray and the wood tables. I had all these orange boots. I got them. Great story on the boots. They were the boots that my kids sat in growing up in Martinsville, New Jersey. I had procured those boots. The place that we went to, Joe's Pizza, he had remodeled. I forgot all about it. And when I decided to open up a slice shop, I went in to pick their brain. I went to talk to Jerry, the owner's son, and I was having a discussion, told him what I wanted to do. He was giving me some hints. And I showed him a picture. I have this book. Everybody should own one. It's called The New York Pizza Project. And it's all pictures of old school pizzerias now. The pictures are from now, as far as I remember. And it features the people who run them. And I had this one picture. I had this idea. I wanted to get these kind of boots. So on my phone, there are the boots right there. I had the picture on my phone of Elegante Pizzeria on like, I think it's 5th Avenue and 59th Street in Brooklyn. And I was telling Jerry about it. I said, yeah, I want to have an old school slice shop. I want to pay homage to that. And I showed him a picture of these boots. And he says to me, I have those boots. I said, get out of here. I said, yeah, I got 6 of them. I said, you got 6 of them. What do you want for them? Really? I would have paid, whatever. I said, want for them? You can have them. My wife's going to kill me if they're not gone by Friday. They've been in my garage for years.
Really?
Right? So me and my son, I rented a U-Haul for $68. We went over there. We loaded them in. We brought them over to my garage at my home in Warren. My back hurt for a week. Derek's back hurt for a day, maybe 2. And those were the boots that we sat in. And I brought them, and they're in the pizzeria now, so they're very special. And the whole family who owned Joe's came one night. They all sat in there. The daughter, she still comes back, but the whole family was there, and they have a new place out in, and you should go if you're ever in Somerville. Go to Prima Pizza Kitchen.
Really?
Tell Jerry I sent you, or Joe. Joe still hangs out there. He can't get it out of his blood. And an amazing discovery I made just recently. My son Michael, we have all our home video on a Plex server. I don't know if you know what Plex is, but we can watch it anytime, right? And he loves to go back and watch it, see when he was a kid. And he found video in that pizzeria.
Really?
With I was taking the video, and my son was there. He was it was 1990, I think. Oh, look at that! There are the boots again. Turns out he had 8, not 6, by the way. And I look in the video, and there's my mother sitting in those very boots.
Really?
So the boots that I have now, my mother sat in too. So it makes them very, very special. Very special. So.
But one thing about the slice shop, I mean, again, even like Paulie Gee's, is that your attention to detail, how you curate everything that is in the slice shop, even down to the music. I know that I heard you the other day. You were with Craig Siracusa, and you were talking a little bit about your playlist. Was it 65? How many thousand songs?
6,500 songs.
6,500 songs.
I think I got about 2,500 now in a slice shop, and it's a different playlist. It's more pop oriented, but I always look for music that people aren't that familiar with. So I found, and this is great because doing this, it's a lot of fun. I hunt down, new music. Hey, there's Craig now. I discover new music from 50, 60 years ago I never heard. So that's more of a pop orient. I find all this like regional soul music, and and the whole list is mine. No Spotify, nothing like that. And I have a lot of fun doing that. And I play it loud. As I tell people, I just came up with this line recently. We don't play background music at Paulie Gee's. We play foreground music.
Foreground music.
I want people to come there. I'm telling people that you're not here just to eat the pizza. You can go get good pizza anywhere, right? You're here to have an experience. And it's really I think the reason we're doing well is that it's sort of like look, my buddy in Chicago, Derek Tung, is calling me right now. Can't go on now, Derek. Sorry. There he is, Derek. In front of his oven there. So very good. Can he see this later?
Huh?
Can he see this later?
He can see it later. Yeah. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. Yeah.
You know what minute we're at?
Huh?
You know what minute we're at?
100 and 1 hour and 8 minutes.
All right, I got to remember to tell him that. All right.
1 hour and 8 minutes.
So, what are we doing here? Curating, right?
Yes.
I wanted to create this atmosphere, and I had a blast doing it. It's really, I went and we moved. We got a condo, and we had been renting the apartment over the slice shop because we didn't want any pain in the. Can I say ass?
Yeah,
Can I say ass on that? We didn't want any pain in the ass tenants above, so we rented the slice shop. And when we got our car, there it is, with the hats over there. I got lots of good hats on that car, but they're the hats I don't wear. They're the hats I don't wear. A lot of it's because they got a flat brim. Paulie Gee don't do no flat brim. Okay, so you know, yeah. So I said to the landlord, hey, would you like the apartment back? We're moving out, or whatever, and he said no, which told me that he didn't think that he could get as much money for rent out of somebody else as he did out of me, right? And can I do that on him? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, why not? We're Italian. Hey.
So I decided to turn it into a pizza themed Airbnb. I had a blast doing that, collecting old albums and like old pizza themed albums. I got that idea from two people. If you're ever in Philadelphia, you go to Pizza Brain. They got some good pizza and they got some great pizza memorabilia. And the original owner of the place, they call him Pizza Brain. There's a great documentary about him and his son that you must see. It's called something Waldo. Mrs. G, what's it called? What's it called? Weed for Waldo or something. He actually helped cure his son's cancer.
Really?
With CBD oil. Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty sure it was Weed for Waldo or something. It's available now. In any case, great memorabilia there. And also my friend in Chicago, Kendall Bruns. We have some of his stuff in Paulie Gee's Logan Square. And he also has his own pizza museum, at least for now, in a storefront in Chicago. What do you think about Vesuvio and Bay Ridge? Vesuvio and Bay Ridge. What is that? Oh, there's a Pat Cooper thing. That's the only non-pizza album I have there. I had to put it up. Pasquale Caputo. There you go.
Pasquale Caputo.
What was I talking? I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh, the albums, the pizza album.
Yes, the pizza album.
Bay Ridge. I don't know. What I love in Bay Ridge is the two places I used to go sober up when I used to go drinking in the 70s. I did. Pizza Wagon, Fifth Avenue, between 86 and 87. Still got a great square. And Nino's on 3rd Avenue and 92nd Street. Great spot. Great guys that run it. Benny and somebody. I always forget. Well, I remember Benny and not the other, because that's my grandson's name and my father's name, right? Benny and somebody. I don't know. They got a great spot. Matter of fact, at one time their father owned Lenny's at the time that Travolta slapped the two slices together there. And if you go and look at Nino's on 92nd, look at the storefront and look at the storefront of Lenny's on 86th Street.
Okay.
It's the exact same storefront.
Well, one of my first episodes of the podcast, I actually had Josephine.
We're good buddies now. We're good buddies.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. So she was telling a little bit of the story of the history of Lenny's. That I guess in the beginning, this guy, I guess his name was Lenny or whatever his name was. He was trying to, I guess, franchise these ideas or these pizzerias. I don't think it really worked so well for the original guy, but hey, it's
still there. Waldo on weed. Julie says Waldo on weed. Really worth seeing. It's great.
Somebody keeps writing in about Vesuvio and Bay Ridge. They want to know if you like.
I know. I don't know Vesuvio. Do I know Vesuvio? Oh, look, Christina's on. That's Craig's cousin. There we go. It's a whole big family affair here. Waldo on weed. Oh, Mrs. G said Waldo on weed also. All right. Raymond Edmund or Edwin Raymond. You're one of those guys. Your first name and your last name.
Here's Derek Tongue.
Oh, there he is. You're just calling me. I put the phone up to the screen, Derek. What's going on? You missed all the good stuff.
Oh, he could definitely check it on the replay. This is going to be this will be. But let's talk a little bit more about the slice shop. So that was kind of like like we said, your homage to the old school New York slice joint, slice shops, and really took us the pizza there. Again, it's more of it can travel. It can travel better than the
right, and that's what started the whole thing. I stopped doing takeout at the Wood Fireplace because I didn't like the way the pizza traveled, and I felt there was a place financially at that point I could do it. I tried to buy a little slice shop around the corner. Thank God he didn't sell it to me, because this is so much nicer than it would have been. Sorry, I didn't know you were being interviewed. Sorry. I put it out on Facebook, Derek. What are you going to do? I decided, I wanted to have a pizza that could travel, right? And, could reheat well. So I wound up finding this place. And I was only going to rent half of it, but the landlord said, I'll rent you. I'm not going to rent you just the front half. I'll rent you the back half because it'll be, I could do better renting the front half. So I said, I'll just take the whole thing. I'll figure out something to do with it. And that's what we did. And now I have the sports bar in the back, which I absolutely love, even though there's no sports on. But everybody knows how to paint by numbers now, right? But the idea was to emulate that in terms of the pizza as well. I have very basic slices. I have a cheese slice. I have a sausage slice. I have little peps. The little peps, that's not classic. Nobody had pepperoni like that back then. But they're good, and they keep the pizza from getting greasy. That's the thing. Oh, there's the mutz. You see that white pie? Ain't no ricotta on that white pie. You don't put ricotta on a white pie. I got that from Totonno's. You go to Totonno's, they got fresh mutz. Hey, who's that good-looking guy right there? Is that Bob Ross in the background? I can't see.
It probably is.
But the thing about those Roni cups is it catches all the grease.
Yes.
It stays in there. It doesn't like float out all over the stuff. Because at first I said, I have to do it the way, they did it back then. And the grease was all over everything. So
yeah. But I know a couple of months ago when you were on the podcast, we were eating some of these slices here. And this was some of the most outrageous, delicious Sicilian slices I ever had.
Imagine how good it would be if we put the right amount of pepperoni on there. What is that? Four pieces of pepperoni? I owe you some pepperoni. I'm sorry.
But talk a little bit about that slice because I know that you were given inspiration by another place to
by two places. Yes.
Okay.
I always love the upside down slice, particularly L&B. But I come to love even more the how am I doing? The light okay? You can see me?
Light's good now. Now it's good. Thank you.
At Prince Street Pizza, they had a great upside down, right? And I like that a lot. And there's also a place in Whitestone that has a Sicilian with sesame seeds on the bottom. A lot of people, they put sesame seeds on the crust, but I don't ever remember seeing anything with sesame seeds on the bottom. And I love that idea. And we talked to the owner, Joe. His name's not Freddie. Freddie's the name of the place, but his name's not Freddie, okay? Just like the owner of Lenny's is not Lenny, right? The owner of Paulie Gee is Paulie Gee, okay? Very good. And when we talked, I said, hey, we'd like to do this. We'd like to pay homage to you. And I decided I was going to do it upside down with the there's a little delay. I moved my hand, and it's a little bit of a delay. Okay. And he gave us his blessing and told us exactly how he did it and everything. He's a great guy, Joe. I miss Joe. He runs a good Super Bowl pool, too. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but he does. And suddenly the name came to me. I was like, this was it. I said, I'm going to make this my signature slice. And I call it the Freddie Prince. Okay. And everybody says now, all of the youngsters here in Greenpoint, oh, you mean Freddie Prince Jr.? I said, no, it's named after his father, the poor guy. Poor guy. Oh, he's gone, not with us, and he can't even.
What was that? Chico and the Man?
Chico and the Man.
Chico and the Man.
Freddie Prince. And we have, we also have, we have Hellboy slices there, just like we have the Hellboy, which is a very popular part of the wood fireplace. We do have the Hellboy at the slice shop. That's the only kind of variation from old school pizza that we do. The sesame seeds and the Mike's Hot Honey. We put Mike's Hot Honey on it. We have a Hellboy squared, we call it. Let's see, the best interview on the podcast as of yet. Oh, that's very nice, Raymond Edmund or Edmund Raymond. Well, we got to find out which is your last name, which is your first. Okay? Freddie Prince.
That's Ray Guarini. He is in charge of the Italian Enclaves Historical Society. He'll actually be on the show tomorrow night. We'll be doing an Italian American authors roundtable.
Really, we made a discovery. This just blew my mind. It's been a crazy day. Our niece works at Fordham, and she sent us a link to something about Italian Americans in the Bronx. It was a webinar or something.
Really?
And it was like set up or curated by a kid named Jalen Glenn. Okay. Now, if you go to Paulie Gee's, on our menu, there will always be a King Harry pie. Right now, it's called the King Harry Classic. It It was named after my friend Harry Glenn. And the reason I called the King Harry is because he was a king of a man. We lost him on 9/11. He was in Tower 1. And at the time, he had a 7-year-old son named Jalen. And wouldn't you know, this is him. This is him. We couldn't believe it. So
now what is it something that we could see online?
I guess, Mrs. G, chime in here. Let everybody know what it is. Maybe we can post it later. I don't know.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm addicted to all things Italian and Italian American, so this is something that I'd be fascinated to check out.
Yeah, it's a multicultural organization that have webinars. Oh, Lorraine is on. Lorraine Stanek. I always used to deny her coffee when we worked together at AT&T. There you go.
Hey, coffee talk with Paulie Gee.
No coffee, Lorraine. Not for you. So where were we before that? We were talking
about the Freddie Prince, about the homage to Freddie Prince. Well, not the Freddie Prince Jr., but to Freddie's Pizza.
We put out
and the help, yeah.
And we also have another
Mrs. G.
Rocky Mountain Way. There's Mrs. G.
I can share the link, but I have to ask first. So I'll let you know about it.
Okay,
good. Thank you.
You got to ask.
Well, I guess it's an important thing.
Why can't you share the link? Who knows? What are you going to do? So where are we?
About the slices that you have at the shop, at the slice shop.
Oh, we have the Saki Mountain Way, which is a pie I came up with in the old, the wood-fired place. We did brunch for like 6 weeks. It didn't fly. It was too much. It was a long day. People weren't coming in. Maybe if I would have held out, it would have been better. But I didn't. But, we only had a wine and beer license. Oh, Lori Battaglia is on. She was on the did anybody see the MailChimp thing? MailChimp Presents, where they went to my house in Jersey.
Oh, yes.
Lori is the reason that we were all together eating dinner in that thing. That was her idea. I flew her up from Florida for it.
Anyway, wow.
Yeah. So she's on there. Hello. I got news for you, Tony. The only people on here are my friends.
Hey, that's all right. You got a lot of friends.
I want to make some new friends. So, so I had we only had a wine and beer license, so I couldn't serve a Bloody Mary for brunch. So I decided to make a Bloody Samurai. I added sake to the mix.
Oh.
Then I called it the Bloody Samurai, right? So, when we torpedoed the brunch, I had all of the sake left. I said, it's a sauce that I used to make actually. We're making pasta. So I said, this might be, it's like a vodka slice, but it's with coffee instead. So,
but does the I guess sake has a little more flavor than vodka.
A little bit, yeah. It does have a little more flavor, yeah. It's nice. So we served it for a while. Nobody was ordering. Took it off the menu. I put it back on. And then I decided recently that, a vodka slice has now become a classic slice shop thing, even though it did not exist back in the 60s, which my point pays homage to, right? But it's sort of classic now. So that's what I did. So we served that. We don't always serve it, but we have it, on occasion. Yeah.
There is a comment on one of the other. It's not here, but it's Lucille Vitale. You guys are making me jealous. I grew up in Manhattan and live out in Portland, Oregon. There are no good pizza joints or Italian delis, and can't begin to tell you how much I miss it.
All right, listen. What's her first name?
Lucille Vitale.
Lucille, open up your mind a little bit, because there is great pizza in Portland. I'm going to give you 5 places right now.
Really?
None of it is really New York style. Actually, there is one that's New York style. I can't vouch for it because I didn't get there. But and I'm going to tell you about this guy first, Ken's Artisan. Go check out Ken's Artisan. It's a wood-fired place. The guy makes great pizza, and he also does have a second place that I didn't get to go to called Checkerboard. That's New York style, so you can check that out. The guy's name is Ken. You should track him down if you can and tell him that I recommended him. Another great place there is a place called A Pizza Shoals, run by my buddy Brian Spangler. And he's even more my buddy now because he put a Paulie Gee pie on a menu.
Really?
Yes, he did. And it has Mike's Hot Honey on it, actually. So, Lucille, go check him out. Ask for Brian. Tell him I sent you. All right? Then you got to go to Lovely's 50/50. That's on Mississippi. Okay?
Lovely's?
Lovely's 50/50. It's named after sisters. They're lovely and 50/50 partners. But I think it's really Sarah, who's there most of the time, and she makes the most beautiful looking pies. She makes pies. She finds these edible flowers. It's just incredible. All right.
Wow.
So that's on Mississippi. Hawthorne. What do you call it on Hawthorne? A Pizza Shoals. Ken's. I don't know where it is. Just some neighborhood. They don't have like streets with restaurants and stores there. It's like it's all in these little neighborhoods, right? Well, there is one street. I guess Hawthorne's kind of like that. Oh no, there's also I forget the name of the street, but there is no pizzeria on that street. All right, so the other place you got to go is Scotty's Pizza Parlor, which is kind of New York style. It's kind of a cross between New York style and Neapolitan. Makes it in a Pizza Master oven, electric oven. Great stuff. Scotty's a great guy. A little wacky though, okay? He opens a restaurant. From the day he opens, he's encouraging his employees to form a union. Who does such a thing? Who does this? I told him, I said, look, just treat people well. You don't have to tell them to form a union. People form a union when they want to make sure they get treated well. You already treat people well. What are you going to do that for? But in any case, Scotty's a great guy. Tell him I said hello. So that's 4. And then there's another place, Handsome Pizza. I don't know why they call it Handsome Pizza. It's not my place, right? You go see it and you ask for Will. Ask for Will, tell him I sent you. 5 great places. And other people talk about, is it Black Sheep is in Minnesota. Dovi Dive or something? I don't know. Something like that. But the 5 I first gave you, I could vouch for.
You've been to them, so you know.
All right, so there you go. Tell these people I sent you, and that's it. And go have that Paulie Gee pie at Brian Spangler's place.
So let's talk a little bit more about Paulie Gee Slice Shop. Let me see if I get some more. Actually, I do want to show one picture. I found it on your I guess it was your if it was your Instagram or one of your pages. But this picture, I really, it's a beautiful picture, I think.
Oh, I love that picture. But look how goofy I look. Look how dopey I look. My hands in front of me. Flour over my hair on my arms. I probably need a hairnet for my arms. Look at that.
Hairnet for my arms.
But look at my family. Look how beautiful they look.
When was this picture taken?
Oh, it was taken shortly after we opened. It was probably taken in April of 2010, maybe. Okay. And there was the first night. Actually, that picture was taken at our friends and family night. And that picture on the top was taken on our 10th year anniversary. Thank God it was March 9th and not March 16th. Because it was March 16th, we wouldn't have had a 10th year anniversary, right?
But you know what?
Go back to that picture. Go back to that picture.
Okay.
All right? Because if you're looking back, my son Derek was my pizza maker for the first year. He's standing back of me. I'm wearing the same hat, black shirt, white apron, and there you go. Uh-oh.
Christine's hosting her own watch party.
Oh, look at that. Hey, everybody. Who's in the watch party? Christine has a watch. I got a note from Mrs. G. Christine is hosting her own watch party. So.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you.
That's great. I'm so excited about that. That's wonderful. You make me feel important now. So.
You are important. You really are one of the best people I know, Paulie. I mean, you're warm, you're welcoming. I mean, I really count you, among one of my good friends, and that I'm blessed to know you. I really am.
It's all an act, but don't worry about it. You're really the nicest person.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm the nicest person, but we have an.
Well, you want to talk more about the slice shop, right?
Yeah, talk a little more about
the slice shop. About the signs on my bar. Okay, I don't find the sign, but when we said that we were going to make it a sports bar, the lovely people of Noble Street, who know how special their street is, did not want to have a sports bar on their block, so they decided that they were going to do everything in their power to. Can you hang on a second here? I got this little thing jumping up and down. My iTunes is jumping up and down for some. All right, it's gone. And they decided, well, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to stop you from doing that. So, and they had all of these signs. If there were 100 houses on the street, at least 50 or 60 had this sign in there with the not sign. It said "No bar on Noble Street." So,
really,
yeah, there is a bar on Noble Street now. People are very nice. They come in and eat the pizza. A couple of them are still a pain in the you know what.
Nahini.
Can I say you know what on here?
You can say you know what.
And so I kind of, there's the bar. Oh, the signs aren't there yet. That's an early sign. But on each side, to the left and right of those beautiful Yankee pennants of mine, there's that sign that I framed that says "No bar on Noble." So
I'll have to look for that one.
yeah, you should. There's pictures of it somewhere. If I knew you needed these in advance, I could have sent them to you.
I'll be honest with you, Paulie. This is the first time that
Stop right there for you and everybody else. You ready? The last thing somebody should ever have to say is to be honest with you, or I'm going to be honest with you, because you're always honest, right?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so why do you have to say that? You tell somebody I'm going to be honest with you. What are you saying? You know, once in a while I lie.
No, well, I'm saying this is really the first time that I've done a show with this much multimedia. I don't know what we would call it. Multimedia things, popping pictures up and down, playing videos. So this is really. I thank you for allowing me to be able to experiment more with this new streaming service. I'm not getting paid by them or anything. I'll be honest with you. I'm not getting. No, I'm not. I'm not getting paid by that. I wish I was, but I'm not. Actually, we have a comment here. Jojo Frasciello, very good show. Pizza.
Thanks very much. Listen, tell Robert Durso. Robert, no, we close at 9 during the week now. So we'd love for you to come, but I don't think you have enough time. What are you going to do? Go get a great slice of pizza wagon or Nino's.
So what are your now the pizzeria, the wood-fired pizzeria has been shuttered during this pandemic, correct?
Absolutely.
But the slice shop is still open.
Yes, we're open for takeout. And,
what are your hours at the slice shop?
During the week by 9 we close. We open up. We start taking caviar orders for pickup at 11:30, and then. You can walk up at noon, and we close at 9. On the weekend, I think up until 10.
Now, you can walk into the shop, or is you going to order at a window? How is that working?
No, we have a window. You could barely get inside. We have the sidewalk marked off. You go up and you order, and we slip the pie out through the front door.
Okay. Are you doing slices or only full pies now?
No, we're doing both.
Okay, you are doing both. So if you want to slice,
the other thing we didn't talk about at the slice shop.
Mm-hmm.
Is we serve from L&B, we serve their spumoni.
Yes, I wanted to get to that because you also serve something else there that's very special.
We serve lemon ice from the Lemon Ice King of Corona.
Oh, I should have worn my hat. Do you have a hat yet?
Do I have a hat?
I don't
have a hat. I don't have a hat.
You don't have a hat from the Lemon Ice King?
No.
I have a hat. I have a hat.
I sent my friend Jimmy C there to get the ices because he's always in, or at least he was until they closed down the freaking Queen Center Mall. He'd go there and pick it up for me. Hey, he gets a pie out of the deal.
So talk a little bit about what is spumoni first of all.
Well, I don't know. Spumoni is like a 3-flavor of ice cream when you go to Italy, right? It's like I don't know. But in L&B, it's sort of like creamy ices. It's not just ices. There's dairy product in it, so you can, knock out the vegans, right? But and it's 3 flavors. It's chocolate, which I'm not a big fan of, pistachio, which I am a big fan of, and like hazelnut or something like that, almond, all 3 together. You can find pictures of that somewhere on my Instagram or something. And they serve it in a little ices cup. Yeah, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. I feel like going over there right now when this is done to go get some ices. We haven't had it in a while. Actually, we get like a quart container of it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that. Very good. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
And and then talk a little bit about the Corona, the Lemon Ice King of Corona. Now that's also a famous. If you're a fan of, or if you watch the King of Queens,
I do not.
Have you ever seen the King of Queens with what's his name, Kevin James?
I have not. No.
In the opening credits, he actually is at the and he has like the ice, and it falls out of it. I don't know. Whenever he turns around, he gets knocked over, and the ice falls.
Oh, I gotta look. I never knew that. I'm gonna have to check that out. There's also another place right across the park. There's a park there, and coincidentally, there's a restaurant called the Parkside. It's a restaurant.
I've never been there.
See what they did there? It's a great place. Great place. Classic Italian place. Really nice.
What makes it so special? What's the is there?
It's a classic Italian old school red sauce place. They updated the decor there. And it's just good quality Italian food. There's Mrs. G again. What are you doing?
I'm gonna join in for a few minutes.
She's going to join in. What are you selling?
I'm not selling anything. I had a few people say, "Where are you?" So because I was in my office there, chiming in on the computer. So
Got to get a slush puppy machine. No room on the counter. Edward Raymond. So
Here we go.
King of Queens. You going to play this now? We have a multimedia magnet here. Look at this.
I don't know if they're going to show the one with the.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know if they'll show.
Oh, look at that. I never watched
There
it.
you go.
I should watch it just for the opening.
Jerry Stiller just passed away.
Oh, Jerry Stiller.
Let's see. These are. I guess these are all little. And actually, the house. Oh, there you go. Here you go. You see it. You see it.
Very good. Good ice. Very good lemon ice. Very good. They're all good too, but that's
so
like I go there. You get the lemon ices. That's like somebody who goes, "Oh, I got to go." When I go to a pizzeria, to me, measure them. I got to get the regular slice. I got to get the margarita pie because that's how you measure stuff. You do all this other stuff that's unique, right? But they got to come in and say, "Oh, I got to get the margarita pie to measure you against others." First of all, why do you got to measure me against others? But second of all, whenever they say, I say, "Really? You ever go to L&B?" "Oh yeah, I love L&B." "Really? So when you go to L&B, what do you get?" "Oh, I get the square." Oh, what happened there?
So we are joined by Mrs. G. Mrs. G, I kind of want to pick your brain for a minute or two, just kind of see.
Out of the picture here now. Don't believe a word she said. Don't believe a word she said.
So Mrs. G, how are you handling this whole craziness that we're going through right now? It's like nothing we've ever experienced.
you know what? It's basically just one day at a time. And everybody you talk to is going through something. Everybody has their own story. Obviously, we have ours too. But the main thing is, as long as you're healthy and you're well, then you can figure out everything as it unfolds.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You have to take one day at a time because you can't rush too much, and you can't. I think in the same respect, you can't slow down so much that everything just stops again. I think we have to.
It's just constantly evolving, especially for the restaurant industry. Every day there's a new story, and there's more directives from the state and the city and the restaurant association. It's really just very overwhelming, the amount of information, but it's constantly being revised too. So we're just too leery about getting our hopes up about anything soon because you keep hearing contradictory stories, and so we're not really gonna, get into action until, we know for sure and that it's safe. And then, we have to take precautions, et cetera, et cetera. So we hope for the best.
What do you actually, we have a comment here. Lorraine. Hi, Mayor. She is a saint.
Oh, that's his buddy from AT&T days who would nedo share his coffee with her. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But what do you? Hey, thank you, Robert. I love you too, man. Thank you so much.
Why don't we chop liver?
But what do you? I mean, really, what do you think this new normal is going to be? Do you think it's going to be now forcing restaurants to operate at half capacity, or?
I'm sure it'll be that or less at first.
Yeah.
But then who knows? It all depends on how it evolves.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing, they want you to wear these face coverings now, but how are you? I mean, I know that when you eat, you can't wear a face covering, but I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, I heard one thing, they said they want to put shower curtains in between booths, in between tables.
The problem is that would ruin like the whole aesthetic of our restaurant. That's the problem. And I was trying to say somebody yesterday, that people come there really because of the vibe and because of the number of people there that are waiting, and it's a fun place. Like we had our big party March 9th. I think we had like 75 people in there. I don't know.
No, that would be above capacity.
Above capacity.
74.
That's 74. But, it's like we would never be able to operate like that now or maybe in the foreseeable future. So we really don't know. And then you have to, are we going to have employees that want to come back under those conditions?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. These are definitely tough times.
I think that it will get back to normal. There's not going to be a new normal.
Oh,
It's gonna go back to normal. It's going to get back.
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. Now let me ask you. I mean, a little bit more of a, I want to say a lighter question, but how did you guys meet?
Oh.
Okay.
Gonna put you on the spot.
Back in the picture. It's a well-known story here. We, I used to see her on the train. I saw her on the train, and one night I'm out with my friends. My friend Cliff, who may be on here, his wife.
Cliff Hansen.
At a mule party, yeah, and his brother out in Evergreen. We were out in Bay Ridge, and I'm pretty sure it was a Friday night. Sad to say, I even remember the date. It was November 12th.
I hope you remember
1976. Well, you don't remember half the time.
I do.
And we were out, went to this club. It was called Jasmine's. Before that, it was called Bojangles, right? And it was what became a disco eventually, right? People later on, I may know it as Bentley's. And I walk in. We were walking to the back of the place after we walked in. And here are these three girls standing there. And I look, and there she is. And I said, "Hey, I know you." "Yeah, you don't know me." I said, "Yes, you do. You take the RR." Okay, so. And and that was it. And the rest of the night, I paid attention to her friends. I ignored her. I think I danced with her once or twice. And next thing you know, somehow I wound up taking them home in a cab. They schemed a cab ride out.
Cab ride out of you.
And I'm leaving, and all of a sudden, her friend Marianne sticks a piece of paper in my hand, and with her telephone number on it. So I took the hint. But so she thinks she put us together. Oh, there we go. That was on St. Patrick's Day, and I was not wearing the green. My eyes were wearing the red that night. I don't know if you noticed. Okay,
no.
My eyes were wearing the red, and that was at our friend Kathy's house. She's on here. Okay, and she knew how much I loved Italian food. They had to have corned beef and cabbage, but before that, we had lasagna that night. I'll never forget that. Okay? And my eyes were wearing the red. So Marianne thinks that she put us together. It's like, what am I'm going to ignore her on the train if she didn't give me her telephone number? I would have went up to her again, and that was it.
So that's the story. So how long did you court?
Court?
Well,
that's an old term.
Well, I don't know. We got engaged on Christmas Eve. I had to save on Christmas presents, so I just got her a ring instead. Christmas Eve, 1977. Look at me. Christmas Eve, 1977.
Here you go.
Oh, that was our first date. Not our first date, but this is when she knew that she couldn't live without me. I surprised her. I got her roses, and I took her to Windows on the World, which sadly is freaking gone now. And, we can't recreate that. We tried to recreate it at the new place, and it's just not the same. But that's what that picture was there. And then we got married in June 23rd, 1979.
Now, where did you get married? You get married in Brooklyn?
Got married. It was called the Chez Royale at the time. It became the Townhouse eventually. Now it's like some kind of Jewish place. It's on 17th Avenue, right near the N train. I don't know. It's probably not the N train anymore. Probably the B or something. 62nd Street over there. So it was a fun wedding. Every once in a while, I turn around and a whole table was missing from my wedding, and all my friends would come back in. The same thing with the eyes wearing the red. All right, the whole place. All tables at a time.
So, what, Mrs. G? Where did you grow up? You grew up in Brooklyn?
I grew up in Dyker Heights on 13th Avenue and 77th Street. And, my husband grew up, I guess you would consider it Flatbush, in the Kensington area. And I always say to people, it's interesting how the world has changed. And, it's everything is so much smaller because of the internet and everything. But when we met, literally, we only lived a few miles from each other. Mm-hmm. You would have thought it was like the other side of the world because you stayed in your neighborhood and you didn't venture too far out and all that. So he really didn't live that far from me logistically. But
it was the other side of the world, totally different neighborhood.
It really was. It was just
all those Guidos in the neighborhood. There, so.
Well, Dyker Heights, that was a predominantly Italian community, correct?
Mostly Italian and some Irish, and I'm actually Irish and Italian. And most of my friends that I went to school with and that were on my block were Italian.
So what were some of the things that you grew up eating? I mean, so you said you're Irish and Italian. Was there certain dishes that you remember from your family, or was there a favorite restaurant you would go to?
Are you speaking to me or my
Yeah,
husband?
yeah.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to now. Now the spotlight's on you. We got to kick Paulie out of the picture. Paulie,
My grandmother was from Milano, and
Okay.
but so she cooked differently, let's say, than my husband's family. And with her cooking, it really wasn't like a lot of sauce and a lot of pasta. Even though she did that, it was much more like risotto and polenta and that kind of stuff. Because she was from the very north and not far from Switzerland. So my husband would always kid her and say, "Oh, you're Swiss. You're not a." He knew her,
Yeah, let's not talk about the generalities.
But
okay?
so really, my grandmother did the cooking because my mother was a single working mom in the 60s. So she did all the cooking and did sort of everything at home and was there when my brothers and I came home from school. So my grandmother was like an integral part of my life. And I mentioned that to you before, Tony, when you got on, because you were saying you speak to your grandmother every day. And I said, that is just such a gift.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. What were some of the places in the neighborhood? Any like old school pork stores or old school, bakeries, stuff like that?
Yeah. And it's funny you're asking about food in the neighborhood because I was thinking about that just like with all this that's going on. And some of it sort of reminds me of like when we grew up because people did not really eat out then. There were not a lot of restaurants. Maybe there were a couple of restaurants in the neighborhood. Everybody really cooked at home, and maybe you went out to eat for a special occasion. And I knew with my grandmother especially, you had to drag her because she didn't want to eat in a restaurant, because they didn't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so part of our life and our culture and our generation, but the prior generations didn't really do that. So I was thinking, like, how many parallels there are to the time that we're going through right now of how they live because. And us growing up, we were in a much smaller world. And that's sort of what it feels like now because you're not really wanting to go out of the immediate area where you are. Nobody's traveling by plane. I mean, we didn't really go away like when we were kids traveling like people do today. Like we would take a road trip, But it just reminded me a lot. I was thinking about that this week.
There's some good food in that neighborhood, though. Even back then, there was a focacceria there.
Which one?
I forget the name of it now.
It wasn't Joe's or
no,
it was on 13th.
Yeah, it was on 13th and like 73rd.
Well, Joe's is that Bath Beach? No, I don't even know what the neighborhood would be.
Joe's is Gravesend.
Gravesend, okay. And what about Ferdinando's?
Ferdinando's is in
downtown or no? Or Carroll Gardens?
Well, they'll call it Columbia, whatever. It's really Carroll Gardens there.
Ray said Romano's. Was that? Oops, was the wrong one.
Romano's, that was like a catering hall place there, Romano's. There was a good place to get Pignoli cookies, a golden loaf. Their bread was good, but their Pignoli cookies were great, and they seemed to be like $5 less a pound than everywhere else. They were really good. It was next to OTB, too. I always remember that. At an OTB over there. So there was some good, and there was a Mona Lisa Bakery was over there, right?
What about Paulie, was there any bakeries in your neighborhood?
Oh yeah. There's a place, and even after we left Brooklyn and moved out to Jersey, people could not come to our house without a loaf of seeded twist from Scotto's Bakery on 13th Avenue and 39th Street. There,
really
great bakery, and right on the corner was a pastry shop, Carini's. That was great. So, and across the street was a Red's Italian restaurant, which had great bar pies that I never had for some reason, but I know they had great bar pies.
Is Scotto still around?
Yeah, she'll tell you about it.
Scotto's is not around any longer.
Yeah, Scotto's is gone.
They really did have the best seeded twist. Yeah, it was really amazing.
Have
you had the Jewish bakery? We had the Jewish bakery on Church Avenue. Nattel's. What else? I don't remember.
Have you been to Fergalli's yet in Garfield, New Jersey?
No, I don't even know what Garfield, New Jersey is.
It's where Vita Mia and Sons Ravioli.
No, we need gas in our car. We're gonna have to go soon.
Yeah, so when you come to Jersey, you have to check out Vita Mia, which is it's technically in Lodi, where I grew up. But also check out for Galley's Bakery. It's on Gaston Street or Gaston Ave. They make the best, to me. Again, I grew up eating it. I guess you could call it the bread cognition theory.
Oh, the bread. All right.
So they make the best double-seeded semolina bread.
We were just over there. We were just over there. Well, we called you looking for a place to eat.
No, that's right. Yeah, you went to Cosmos.
Right.
I was there today. Because I was thinking about it. I went there today.
I had no idea who you were, by the way. I was embarrassed.
No. They don't know who I am.
Well, why not?
Oh, because I'm just a schmuck.
Come on, no, not you. But now, is Mrs. Martino going to keep up with things there? Or?
I haven't talked to them in a while, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Unfortunately, it's just a terrible thing. I mean, we lost so many great Italian Americans, or we lost so many great people during this whole COVID.
Martino's a great place. Just tell people about it.
Yes. It's one of the greatest, it's like one of the, we call it tavola caldo, like an old school, like it's one place in the world where they want you to eat, and they want you to eat a lot of food. Like from the moment you walk in, it's like literally walking into your grandmother's house, and you sit in the back of them.
You're in the back of their house. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, I know Mo's Butcher Shop. Unfortunately, we also lost Mo Albanese.
He was his daughter was a very good friend with Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Very good friend.
And I was actually supposed to interview Jennifer, which is Mo's granddaughter.
Right. That's
you never. I know we talked about it. You never had that scheduled, huh?
Yeah, we did. We had it scheduled, and then this happened. And
you can still talk to her.
No, I probably could, but but there you almost want to, you want to feel the rooms per se. You want to feel the butcher shop.
She has her own plan. I'm not really sure to sort of reopen it. So you should get in touch with her.
And if anybody out there hasn't been, well, I don't know what happens now, but it was a great place. The day I went in there, Mo was sitting there, 94 years old, singing to a Connie Francis album that was on a little record player. Sitting there, he was singing Connie Francis. It was great. So,
yeah, he was definitely a legend in the neighborhood. That whole block was Elizabeth Street was the Sicilian. That was the Sicilian block.
Well, wasn't that Scorsese grew up on that block?
Yeah, I think right across the street, if I'm not mistaken. Did you ever see the documentary with his parents?
No.
Oh, Paulie, of all people, you never see that documentary?
What are you gonna do?
It's called I think it's called Italian America or Italian Americana. You can find it actually on YouTube. It is one of the most amazing documentaries.
It's about them.
It's about the parents. It's like him filming with his parents in their apartment in the city.
Oh, that's good. I got to check that out.
Yeah, you definitely have to check it out. I'm actually posting, if I can find it here. I'm posting a picture of Mo. Here we go. Here it is. I guess I'm trying to do this multimedia presentation as I do.
Really fancy there, Anthony.
Here we are. This was actually.
Oh, look at that.
This was at last year's San Gennaro Festival, 2019. Yeah, it was a great.
What a shame! The freaking guy is 94 years old, and this thing takes him down. Really ridiculous.
Yeah. I tell you, but you know what? This has been so much fun. I mean, I can't believe we've been talking for 2 hours. I just feel it feels like it went like a snap of my fingers.
Right. I can't believe there's still people hanging on here. Well, at least Raymond Edward is. Raymond Edward is. What's the real last name, man?
Guarini. You should really know Ray. He does so much documenting of Italian American communities, Little Italy's enclaves throughout the whole country, really. But he had because he is from Brooklyn, so his forte is the New York City area. But if you follow them on Instagram, it's Italian Enclaves.
Oh, I do follow them.
Yeah. Great. He posts some amazing old school photos. Actually, today is their 1 year. It's the 1 year anniversary of Italian Enclaves. Being I guess out there on the web. And again, like I said, tomorrow night Ray will be on the show. Actually, he said Ray said thanks, Tony. You anytime, Ray. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow night. And my wife is here.
My wife is there. There she goes.
She's watching too.
Hi, Elena.
How you doing?
Thank you, Tony and Paulie. But again, Mrs. G, Paulie G, I love you guys. You guys really are the sweetest you should. I'll be honest. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I'll be honest.
Well, I don't want to say that. But before you go, let's please everybody again pay tribute to my friend, my very first friend, Kevin Riley. Such a bad time in there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But again, I want to. So how can people find you, Paulie G? How can people? Are you on? I know how I can find you, but how can people find you? Are you on? Or you have a website? You have Instagram? You have
Paulie G with the blue check. Okay.
With the blue, yeah. There's no more Paulie G 123.
Oh, I got rid of that guy. I got rid of that guy who had my Paulie G. This.
He has to work some magic for me.
Yeah. He had to stick a number on us there. The guy's gone. I can't get up to help. Hi guys, dinner out. Yeah, when this is over.
We'd love to go to Belmont.
But yeah, Paulie G on Instagram. That's pretty much my life is right there. We also have Paulie G Slice Shop, which is more slice shop focused. If Facebook, you must, it's Paulie G. We're on it too. All the Instagram stuff goes over there.
But really, your Instagram is like it's a dive into. It isn't just about the pizza. It's about you. It's kind of your.
It is. And I think people like that too.
I mean, even kind of what I do. I post my saints of the day. I post the food I eat. I post the guests that are coming on the show. So really, I mean, Instagram is like an extension of who I am. It's my kind of like my personality in pictures.
The saint of the day apparently is Saint Mary Ann here, according to Lorraine Stanek.
Thank you, Lorraine. I need people in my court, Yeah.
Oh, but again, I want to thank both.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
I want to thank you both so much for taking time out. This has been great, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to actually again see you guys in person. Hopefully, when this is all said and done. And
Belmont Tavern with Annette, you got to make that happen.
I know. I really should get over there. I'll try to go this weekend. To try to get some takeout. But wait, did you? Let me ask you one question. Did you took it home to Brooklyn, or you ate?
Yeah, no, we took it to Brooklyn.
And it reheats good and everything.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We ate the garlic bread in the car. Some of the garlic.
Oh,
I didn't say garlic bread.
No, you didn't. You didn't say that. You didn't say that. We gotta take that out of the. We gotta cut that.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
All
right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you soon, Paulie.
I said I'm leaving the studio here. All right.
All right. Ciao, Paulie. Again, ciao. Again, I am Anthony Scillia, better known as Tony Mangia. You've been watching At the Table with Tony live stream show. Again, I want to thank Mrs. G, Paulie G, for coming out on the show today. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I was doing a lot of experimenting with StreamYard. I'm really starting to love StreamYard. Again, I'm just promoting them because this makes it so much easier to do these live streams. Coming up tomorrow, we have a special show. We're doing a little authors roundtable, Italian-American authors roundtable. That's gonna be tomorrow night, 7:30. Same bat time, same bat station. Actually, not the same bat time because we started at 7:00 today. Same bat station right here on my YouTube and Facebook page, and then of course the next day it's posted on my podcast, TonyMangia.com, and as well as my Facebook like page. So this has been a real blast. I really had a great time talking to my friends, Paulie G and Mrs. G. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you for all the comments, for all the there's questions, comments, and that is that. We will see you next time on At the Table with Tony. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing. Next week we'll be interviewing the crew from d'Abruzzo, NYC. They make the little spiadini, the Abruzzese specialty. So that's going to be next Tuesday. And working on putting together some more shows throughout the weeks, and hopefully I can get back on the road again once these stay-at-home orders are lifted and do more of the podcasting. But again, I absolutely love doing this live stream stuff. It's something different, something that I really like to bring to you, because you know what, it's a chance for me to kind of talk to the people, talk to my friends, talk to people that I never met before. I've had some people on my show that I've never met. So it's good to be able to make these connections. And I always say it's not social distancing. We're physically distancing. We can still be social, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on the internet, whether it's, passing by somebody, your family's house and giving them a wave. So again, I am Anthony Scillia. We'll see you next time at the Table with Tony. Ciao for now.